Have you ever wondered why some people stay vibrant and sharp into their 90s, while others begin to fade in their 60s? It's not luck. It's not just genetics. And it's definitely not inevitable. Jico for the first 60 minutes after waking up, a window of time that acts like a secret lever controlling your heart health, your brain clarity, your joint strength, and even your emotional resilience. Yisuksko the chatnang. But here's the shocking truth. Most people sabotage this golden hour every single day without knowing it. We rush past it. We flood it with habits that silently age us from the inside out, even before breakfast. Imagine a different morning. Invisible.com. Imagine waking up, moving with ease, feeling your mind spark alive, breathing deeply without strain, standing tall without hesitation. Not just today, but 10, 20, 30 years from now. Sound too good to be true? Let me tell you something powerful. The oldest, healthiest people in the world, the centenarians who inspire researchers and doctors, all share 5 morning habits. Not expensive gadgets, not complicated routines, simple, natural practices, done before the day steals your attention, done before the noise of the world drowns out your own needs. And the best part? Each one takes less than 5 minutes. Each one taps into the way your body was designed to heal, restore, and thrive. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how to reclaim your mornings and with them, your vitality, your independence, and maybe even decades of your life. Because aging gracefully isn't about fighting your body. It's about learning to finally work with it, starting with the very first breath of every day. Are you ready to stop rushing past the most important hour of your life? If you stay with me today, I promise you something simple but powerful. You won't need a new doctor. You won't need expensive treatments or a complete lifestyle overhaul. You won't be asked to give up your favorite foods or force yourself into exhausting routines that leave you feeling defeated. None of that. Instead, what you'll discover is how small, natural actions performed during the first golden hour of your day can quietly, gently, and profoundly shift the direction your body is heading. Toward strength instead of weakness. Toward clarity instead of confusion. Toward freedom instead of slow decline. I'm not here to sell you a miracle. I'm here to remind you of something your body already knows, something it's been quietly asking for every single morning, even when you were too busy to notice. The truth is, the path to aging well isn't hidden inside expensive supplements, complicated biohacks, or promises that sound too good to be true. It's hidden in the simplest moments. Moments that cost nothing. Moments that are available to you right now, starting tomorrow morning. Imagine waking up and knowing, without doubt, that you are doing something kind for your heart. Something protective for your brain. Something nurturing for your joints and muscles and blood vessels. Imagine feeling proud, not anxious, about how you're taking care of the body that carries you through life. That's what this conversation is about. Because you deserve mornings that set you up for vitality, not exhaustion. You deserve to feel strong in your steps, sharp in your thinking, and steady in your heartbeats. Not just today, but 10, 20, even 30 years from now. And you won't need complicated solutions. You'll need only a willingness to listen, to trust your body's natural rhythm, and to adopt a handful of gentle rituals practiced by the longest living, most vibrant elders in the world. 5 simple habits, 20 minutes or less. One beautiful transformation waiting quietly for you to notice it. So stay with me. Today could be the beginning of a very different kind of aging story, one that feels like life opening up again instead of slowly shutting down. And it all begins in the first moments after you wake up. Let me introduce you to someone whose story might sound painfully familiar. His name is Arno, 68 years old, retired accountant, a man who had spent his whole life doing what he thought was right. He slept his 8 hours. He ate what he believed was a reasonably good diet. He didn't smoke, didn't drink heavily, didn't engage in anything reckless. And yet, every morning, Arnold woke up feeling like he was dragging an invisible weight tied to his chest. It wasn't just fatigue, it was a bone-deep exhaustion, the kind that made even simple tasks feel monumental. At first, he thought it was just part of aging. His doctor reassured him that this happens with age and adjusted his medications slightly. But the numbers kept getting worse. His blood pressure climbed higher, and his inflammation markers, those silent predictors of heart disease, stroke, even cognitive decline, began to spike alarmingly. And with every passing week, Arnold felt the life he loved shrinking around him. No more morning walks with his wife. No more playful chasing of his grandkids at the park. Even climbing a few steps to fetch the mail left him winded and ashamed. The worst part wasn't the physical struggle. It was the quiet fear settling into his bones, the terrifying question that lurked behind every yawn, every heavy step. Is this it? Is this really how it ends? Slowly fading away, piece by piece? When his doctor sat him down after a particularly bad checkup and said, "If we don't see some serious improvements, Arnold, you may not see your 75th birthday," something inside him cracked. He felt a wave of helplessness, followed by something even worse, a heavy, bitter resignation. Maybe he had already missed his chance. Maybe the damage was too deep to undo. And then, something unexpected happened. One crisp Saturday morning, while sitting on his porch sipping black coffee that no longer seemed to bring him any energy, Arnold noticed his neighbor across the street, Betty, 91 years old, still tending to her garden every morning, still carrying her groceries with a bounce in her step, still laughing easily with the neighborhood kids, her silver hair catching the sunlight like a crown. Arnold watched her for a long moment, mesmerized by her vitality, feeling both awe and something close to envy. How could she move like that? How could she still shine with so much life when he, 20 years younger, felt like a hollow shell? Later that day, gathering up more courage than he thought he had left, Arnold crossed the street and struck up a conversation. He expected to hear about some rare genetic blessing or fancy anti-aging treatments. But Betty only smiled, her eyes crinkling with a kind of kindness that felt like sunlight itself. "I just take care of my mornings," she said simply. Confused, Arnold pressed her for details. And that's when Betty leaned in and shared her secret. Not a secret passed down in fancy clinics or health magazines, but simple, humble habits she had practiced every single morning for decades. Tiny rituals that required no special equipment, no magic pills, no perfect conditions. Just simple acts of respect for a body that still wanted to thrive, if only it were given the chance. Skeptical but desperate, Arnold decided to try them. What did he have to lose? He committed reluctantly at first to honoring the first moments of his mornings the way Betty described. Not grand changes, just quiet shifts. A glass of water, a few minutes of sunlight, a gentle movement, a breakfast made of real food, a few slow, grateful breaths before letting the world rush in. And in the weeks that followed, something even more surprising happened. Arnold didn't just feel better. He felt different, as if some ancient engine inside him, one he had forgotten even existed, was roaring back to life. His doctor was baffled. His blood pressure dropped. His inflammation markers plunged by 43%. His energy surged. His joy returned. The heavy, dark mornings gave way to something he hadn't felt in years. Hope. And it all began not with a new medication, not with a radical diet, not with some grueling workout. It began with the first hour of his day. The same hour you and I wake up to every morning, often without realizing the extraordinary power hidden inside it. Why do those first 60 minutes after waking up matter so much? At first glance, it seems almost too simple. How could a few small actions in the morning possibly reshape decades of health habits or reverse the slow creep of aging? But the answer is both deeply biological and profoundly hopeful. You see, your body isn't the same the moment you open your eyes as it is later in the day. During sleep, you enter a completely different state. Your heart rate slows, your breathing becomes shallow, your blood pressure drops. Your body in many ways slips into a protective, low-power mode, like a house settling into darkness during the night. And when you wake up, everything must reboot. But here's the key: it doesn't happen automatically. You need your help. Without the right triggers, your body stays sluggish, vulnerable, and out of sync for hours, sometimes even days. And over time, that lack of proper reactivation compounds into deeper issues. Chronic inflammation, metabolic slowdown, cognitive fog, even increased risk of heart attacks and strokes. Morning is not just a time to get ready for the day. It's the biological reset button that determines how your cells, your blood vessels, and your brain will function for the next 24 hours. Let's start with hydration. Overnight, your body loses nearly a pound of water through breathing and perspiration. Suksko, the chatnu. That's not just moisture from your skin, it's water leaving your bloodstream. By morning, your blood is thicker, your heart is working harder, and your brain is struggling to function in what is essentially a state of low-grade dehydration. Skipping that first glass of water isn't just a missed opportunity. It's like trying to start a car with a clogged fuel line. Studies from Harvard Medical School show that proper hydration within 5 minutes of waking can increase blood flow to the brain by 30% and lower stroke risk in seniors by over 50%. Suksquo, the chatnuo, a simple glass of water, 1 minute of kindness to your body. And yet, how many mornings pass us by without it? Now, consider light. When sunlight touches your eyes, not through a window, not filtered by sunglasses, but natural outdoor light, something extraordinary happens deep inside your brain. Your suprachiasmatic nucleus, the body's master clock, snaps to attention. Suksqua, the chatna. It resets your circadian rhythms, triggers melatonin production for better sleep later, boosts serotonin for mood regulation, and primes your metabolism for the day ahead. Without that light cue, your body floats, unanchored. Your sleep-wake cycles drift. Your energy slumps. Your immune system falters. Getting morning sunlight isn't a luxury. It's the ignition switch for your entire system. Even 5 minutes can transform how you feel, and over time, how you age. Movement is the next piece. Most people wake up, sit down, and stay still until breakfast, believing they're easing into the day. But what they're really doing is letting their joints stiffen, their muscles tighten, and their blood stagnate. The National Institute on Aging has shown that gentle movement before breakfast increases metabolism by 24% and lowers inflammatory markers linked to heart disease, arthritis, and dementia. Susque the chatnuo. Not heavy exercise, not painful stretching, just slow, mindful activation, coaxing the body back to life like a warm engine in winter. Skipping morning movement is like letting a machine rust before you ever turn it on. And what about food? The first food you put into your body after waking is like the first log on a fire. Choose poorly refined sugars, processed carbs, and you feed flames of inflammation that can burn for hours. Choose wisely. Fiber-rich, protein-dense foods, and you stoke a slow, steady warmth that supports healing, repair, and resilience. Sukskoo the chatnua. It's not about deprivation. It's about providing the raw materials your cells need to fight back against the wear and tear of time. And finally, there's your mind. Before your brain gets flooded with news headlines, phone notifications, and the heavy noise of daily life, there is a small, golden space. A moment when your nervous system is still pliable, still setting the tone for the entire day. What you focus on during that window, gratitude, breath, peace, directly shapes your cortisol levels, your blood pressure, even your heart's electrical rhythms. Suksko, the chat. 3 minutes of intentional gratitude or mindful breathing within 30 minutes of waking reduces stress hormones by over 20%. Suksko, the chat. 3 minutes that act like an invisible shield around your heart, your brain, your very sense of peace. If you miss that window, you spend the day chasing balance that could have been built from the start. Morning isn't just a time slot. It's a choice. It's the decision to flood your body with signals of health, strength, and healing, or to leave it drifting, vulnerable to forces you can no longer see, but will one day feel. And the most beautiful part? It's never too late to change your mornings. Even if you've spent years rushing through them or ignoring them altogether. Even if you feel like decline has already started. Your body is always listening. It is always ready to respond. And every morning you wake up is another chance to press that reset button, to reclaim your strength, your clarity, and your future. It begins with a glass of water, a few rays of sun, a handful of stretches, and a nourishing bite, a grateful breath. And in those simple acts, repeated gently day after day, lies the power to age not just longer, but better. The transformation of your mornings and your life begins with simple, gentle acts. Drastic changes, not overwhelming routines. Here's just small, powerful rituals that whisper to your body, I am here, I am listening, I am taking care of you. Let's begin with the first and perhaps most overlooked habit. When you open your eyes tomorrow morning, before you reach for your phone, before your feet even touch the floor, reach for something far more precious, a glass of water. Your body has gone 8, sometimes 10 hours without a single drop. During that time, every breath you took while sleeping quietly pulled moisture from your system. By morning, your blood is thicker. Your brain is thirsting. Your organs are working harder than they need to. Skipping that morning glass of water is like trying to drive a car after leaving it sitting in the summer heat with no oil. It's not just inconvenient, it's damaging. But the simple act of drinking a glass of room temperature water, slowly, gratefully, signals your body to start flushing toxins, oxygenate your brain, and ease the burden on your heart. Suksko, the Chatangwa. Shirley, a retired teacher from Florida, learned this lesson the hard way after suffering a minor stroke last year. Her doctor traced the root cause back not just to diet or genetics, but to chronic morning dehydration. After she made the small change of drinking a full glass of water immediately upon waking, her circulation improved dramatically and her stroke risk plummeted. So tonight, set a glass of water on your nightstand. Tomorrow, when you wake, let it be your first act of kindness to yourself. The next habit may seem almost too simple to matter, but science proves otherwise. Morning sunlight. Within 30 minutes of waking, step outside, even for just 5 minutes. Natural light, even on cloudy days, is 50 times brighter than indoor lighting. This burst of brightness resets your internal clock, telling your body it is morning, triggering hormone cascades that regulate your sleep quality, mood, metabolism, and even cellular repair. Suksko, the Chatangwo. Skipping this exposure leaves your body drifting through the day without anchor, disrupting your sleep at night, dampening your energy by noon. Think of it this way. Without morning light, your body loses its map for the day. It drifts, aimless and exhausted. Thomas, an 81-year-old grandfather, battled insomnia for decades. He tried sleeping pills, meditation apps, expensive therapies. Nothing worked. Until, at his doctor's suggestion, he began sitting on his front porch each morning, coffee in hand, letting the light reach his eyes. Within weeks, his sleep deepened, his mood lifted, and the chronic exhaustion that had weighed him down for years began to lift. You don't need to run a mile. You don't need to bask under a perfect sun. You simply need to greet the day with your eyes wide open to the world outside. After light, movement. Many people wake up and think they're being kind to themselves by easing into the day slowly, sitting, reading, resting. But stillness first thing is not kindness. It's stiffness waiting to happen. Your joints, your muscles, your blood vessels need gentle waking too, like stretching a sleepy cat after a nap. Just 5 minutes of slow, mindful motion before breakfast can increase your metabolism by 24%, reduce inflammation markers by 30%, and help maintain joint flexibility. The Chattanooga Nancy, who once feared she would end up in a wheelchair within 2 years, learned this lesson firsthand. Each morning, before she ate or even sipped coffee, she spent just a few minutes swinging her arms in circles, gently twisting her torso side to side, lifting each knee toward her chest and walking in place. The result? Her arthritis eased, mobility returned. Her mornings felt lighter, her confidence stronger. No equipment needed. No gym. Just the willingness to move, to tell your body, I am alive and I intend to stay that way. Now, your body has been rehydrated, your internal clock reset, your joints awakened. It's time to feed the engine properly. What you choose for breakfast isn't just about calories. It's about chemistry. After fasting all night, your cells are hungry for fuel, but the kind of fuel you provide makes all the difference. Processed, sugary breakfasts, cereal toast, sweetened coffee, flood your system with inflammation, setting the stage for blood sugar spikes, joint damage, even cognitive decline. But a simple, fiber-rich, anti-inflammatory breakfast sends the opposite signal. It tells your body to heal, not hurt. William, a 69-year-old former coach facing pre-diabetes and dangerously high cholesterol, was warned he might need medication for life. Instead, he changed one thing: his breakfast. He swapped toast and jam for a bowl of berries, a handful of walnuts, and a few spoonfuls of plain yogurt. Within 6 weeks, his blood markers transformed, so much that his doctor asked what new medication he was taking. His answer was simple: I changed my morning. Tomorrow morning, consider nourishing your body with nature's pharmacy: vibrant fruits, healthy fats, clean proteins. Food that loves you back. And finally, before you dive into emails, television news, or to-do lists, or take 3 minutes for gratitude, for breath, for remembering that you are alive. This isn't just feel-good advice. Studies show that practicing mindful gratitude within the first 30 minutes of waking lowers cortisol levels by 23%, stabilizes blood pressure, and primes your mind for resilience. Sux Koe the Chatnuo. Daniel, a 72-year-old retired executive, fought blood pressure numbers that refused to drop despite medication. Frustrated, he tried something radical. He spent 3 minutes each morning naming things he was grateful for. His heart that still beat faithfully, his legs that still carried him, his mind that still dreamed. Within a month, his numbers normalized so much that his doctor reduced his medication, something neither of them thought possible. 3 minutes, 3 breaths, 3 small thank yous. That's all it took to tip the balance. When you string these habits together, hydration, light, movement, nourishment, gratitude, you're not just following a checklist. You're creating a living ritual, a daily renewal, a way of telling your body, your mind, your spirit, I choose life. I choose strength. I choose to honor this precious gift of another morning. And over time, those mornings stack up. Like bricks building a fortress against frailty. Like seeds growing into a mighty oak. Like quiet prayers that whisper into a future filled with vitality and grace. It doesn't take perfection. It takes presence. And it all begins tomorrow morning. Imagine for a moment that your life is a great oak tree. Mighty and weathered, yes. But not because the storm spared you. Because despite every wind that tried to break you, every drought that tried to starve you, you continued to grow. In silence, in patience, in persistence. And just like any living thing, your body is still listening, still growing, still reaching toward the light, even now, even here, even today. Maybe somewhere along the way, you were told that it's too late, that after a certain age, decline is inevitable, that health is a mountain already slipped from your grasp. But that's not the truth. The truth is written in the small, almost invisible victories that happen when no one is watching. The glass of water that hydrates your tired cells. The first golden rays of sun that reset your circadian rhythm. The tender stretch that tells your joints, I still believe in you. The real food that feeds your muscles, your bones, your beating heart. The breath of gratitude that softens the hard edges of the day before it even begins. These are not grand gestures. They are seeds. Tiny seeds planted in the quiet soil of morning. Seeds that grow, slowly and surely, into strength, clarity, resilience. And the beauty of it all? You don't have to do everything perfectly. You don't have to overhaul your life overnight. You don't have to become someone new to deserve the gift of feeling alive again. You only have to begin. One glass of water. One step into the sunlight. Stretch. One nourishing breakfast. One whispered thank you to the body that has carried you without complaint through every joy and sorrow. The world may rush and roar around you. The years may pile like autumn leaves at your feet. But deep within you, the roots of vitality still run strong. All they need is a little care, a little attention, a little morning light. No matter where you are today, no matter what aches or worries or regrets you carry, tomorrow morning will come. It will come like it always has, quietly, faithfully, offering you a blank page. And you have the power to choose how you will fill it. You can choose to ignore it, to let it slip past in a blur of habit and noise. Or you can choose to honor it, to honor yourself. You can choose to rise with intention, to nurture your strength before the day makes its demands. To become, in your own quiet way, the author of a new story. One where age does not steal your spirit, but deepens your wisdom, your resilience, your joy. Tomorrow morning, when your eyes blink open and the first light creeps into the corners of your room, remember, life is still reaching for you. Strength is still growing inside you. Hope is still waiting at the edge of your breath. And it all begins with one small, beautiful choice. If something in today's conversation stirred something inside you, even just a tiny flicker, then that means your spirit is still listening. It means there's still a part of you that believes in the beauty of what could be, not just what has been. You don't have to transform your life overnight. You don't have to master every habit perfectly. You don't have to climb mountains or chase miracles. You only have to begin, quietly, gently. Tomorrow morning, one sip of water, one step into the light, one slow, grateful breath, one small, living seed planted in the rich soil of a brand new day. If any part of you feels ready to take that first small step, I would love to hear about it. You don't have to write an essay. You don't have to impress anyone. To share, in your own words, one little thing you're going to start tomorrow morning to honor your body, your heart, your life. Maybe it's placing a glass of water by your bedside tonight. Maybe it's promising yourself 5 minutes outside before the rush of the world begins. Maybe it's simply whispering a thank you into the morning light. Whatever it is, speak it aloud, claim it, let it live. And if you feel comfortable, leave a comment below and share it with me and with others walking this same beautiful path. Because every small intention, spoken or written, carries a power far greater than we often realize. And if you'd like to continue this journey together, learning, growing, discovering more simple ways to nourish your strength, your energy, your spirit, I warmly invite you to stay connected. Your presence here means more than you know. Thank you for giving yourself this moment today. Thank you for listening, not just to me, but to the quiet wisdom within you that knows. It's never too late to live more fully, more gently, more vibrantly. Tomorrow morning is waiting for you, and I can't wait to hear what small miracle you decide to begin.